Hey YouTube, this is the second part of my guitar onboard preamp electric-y thing. As you can see, I've not put them on board, I've put them in this pedal. This one was the one I just did, which was the 6 decibel boost, which I'm just going to ignore now, and I'm going on to this, which is an ARTEC QDD. If you look at it in here, if I can do it without the battery falling out. Yeah, this is a little bit more complicated than this one here. You can see it's a circuit board there. So on it, it's got in, out, and the battery connector. So it's not that difficult to connect up. See there's a trim pot. I'll explain about that in a minute. Right. So what this is I'll actually get this back together again so that the battery doesn't fall out. Yeah, I've had to modify this because it does have a bit of a design flaw. Yeah, so it's a built-in distortion on electric guitars that has been designed on the simulation of historical drive sounds. In general, an external effector has been used, the distortion effect, because of the fact that the external effector make more... Let's just zoom out a bit. That's probably professional. Make more professional drive lately. Yeah, this wasn't written in English, this has been converted into English. Has been used the distortion effect because of the fact that the external effector make more professional drive lately. However, the QDD can make a precisely simulated sound with very simple and economical way of installation and provides various distortion features that allow you to increase your guitar's commercial value. Yep. The way to install inside your guitar can eliminate the cable noise. Okay. Yeah, so it's low profile, it's got true bypass, clean, and it's so I'm going onto the guitar. It's not actually on the guitar, it's in that box. So it's basically, it's got 4 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 position rotary switch here. This is the one that's actually built onto the circuit board. This I added myself. I'll tell you why. So in fully anti-clockwise, it's bypassed, so it works even when the battery's gone, which is a handy thing. The next one is a clean boost, and then you've got that's not telling you what the other. Hold on, it tells you on this one. It's named all. It's basically just varying degrees of distortion. Where is it? QTD. Yeah, so it's bypass, then it's clean booster, blues overdrive, rock distortion, and heavy metal are the options. So I'll playing through my my Fender Strat, that amp, the wee Laney tube amp, and 3x12 cabinet, no other pedals. There's my clean sound. Yeah, so basically, what I've done is I showed you that wee trim pot inside it. I have extended that trim pot, so that trim pot is sitting at full, and I've put another pot on, just on the 3 terminals where the trim pot was connected. I've just soldered another pot on. It's a B10K pot, which I had to order because I tried other ones that didn't really work, just to replace the trim pot. Because what happens is, when you go up, I'll show you. So if I put I'll go into the clean boost. This is stage 1, right? So I need to apply some volume to it, so it is actually louder. So that's it off. Much what that 6 decibel boost one's doing. It's just a wee boost circuit. That's it off. But that's me, you get the trim pot at full, yeah. Whereas if I go to the next one, that's me on the distortion and the, what do they call it? Blues overdrive. Which is significantly louder. If I go to the next one, which is the rock distortion, it's really ramping up the volume. If I go to the last one, this is the heavy metal one. Yeah, so you need to be able to adjust that trim pot, and assuming you want to use all those 4 sounds, you need to have the trim pot that you can get at. You can adjust it on the back with a screwdriver, but basically, so if you want to use the heavy metal one, I want to tone that trim down a bit, so and that's it off. Maybe even a bit less. Yep, so I mean, it sounds pretty good actually. It just sounds like a distortion pedal built into your guitar. What I'm saying there about the trim pot being wrong is, so that's it in heavy metal. That's it off. Not a bad variance in sound. You know, that's me using the I've not touched the trim pot yet. But if I put it down to the just rock distortion, and then if I turn it off, see the rock distortion is actually quieter than off, so I need to adjust the trim pot up the way. And if I go down to mild distortion, was it? Blues overdrive. It's too quiet. This is it off. This is it on blues overdrive. So I need to crank up the gain. Yeah. So I don't know, am I explaining this really what's happening here? So you need to be able to get at the trim pot, basically, is what I'm saying. So that's why I extended it. I've got a plan for this. It's going in a guitar with 2 knobs. Because so you can actually use different varying levels, because all the sounds are actually pretty good. That's the sort of bluesy overdrivey one. So it does give a good drive. If I go up to the next one, the heavy rock one, see it's too loud, so I need to turn the trim pot down. Heavy metal one, which you've got to be able to get the trim pot to just knock that down to lower the output of it. So I mean, I used to have this in a guitar years ago, and I didn't realise before I realised you could extend that trim thing, because basically you can only, although it's got like 5 positions on the switch, well, off, it's got bypass and then 4 sounds. You can set the trim pot for one of those sounds, so you kind of have to choose what your favourite one is to set the trim pot to do that, and then just not use the other ones, because if your favourite one is the blues overdrive, then you set it so the blues overdrive, so you've got off and blues overdrive, that's fine, but if you turn that to metal, it's just 4 times the volume and it'll be useless. And it's the same if your favourite one's the metal one, so you set it for that. When you go to the blues overdrive one, you won't hear it. So it needs its own. I don't know. It seems, to be honest, it seems like a bit of a misstep in the design of it. It seems to work pretty well though. If you add the extra knob, it does actually say somewhere in there that you can easily add a pot. It doesn't tell you how to do it, but it says something about adding a pot to do that, and it's kind of basically if you've got one of these, the QDD system, then you need to do that. It's a nice idea, so you kind of got a pedal in your guitar. There might even be an element of just plugging straight into a PA. That's a heavy metal one. I think that's a pretty good heavy metal sound. I've still got that track from earlier on. try the rock distortion. See it now, but to adjust the trim pot to make it sound mild overdrive. Again, got to turn the trim pot up. Then just a clean boost. Bypass. Heavy metal, if you haven't touched the trim pot. Actually quite an interesting thing. I have to admit I took that out the guitar that I had it in because I couldn't find a use for it. Because of, well, I couldn't find it. I just basically set the heavy metal one. I set the gain pot, like on the wee trim pot in the back, to the heavy metal one. So basically, I used bypass and position 5 for the two sounds, as in just clean and distorted. You need to be able to get at that trim pot if you're going to use the other sounds. Basically. Sounds like it's... Is that picking up? That's interesting. I'm picking up radio signals. I've not picked up radio signals for years with a guitar. Only very slightly. That's when I'm on the gain one. So, yeah, turn it up. I don't know if that's coming through. Yeah, so with the gain up full hit, you can pick up the radio. That might be useful at some point. Yeah, so I've got plans for this. It's going in. Well, I don't really want it to be a surprise when I've done it, but I've got a battery in it. I've got a guitar I've been working on. It's only got one humbucker, so it's kind of a lack of sounds. So that will just give it much more sounds. It's like rather than having it doesn't even have a tone control, so it'll just be just a volume control. But now I'll have a 5-position booster system thing with the gain pot, so it should do quite a lot. I mean, I think the distortion sounds on it that's pretty good. Maybe not quite as distorted as that. That's the heavy metal one. Obviously you could put it in a pedal, like what I've done, and just build your own distortion pedal sort of thing. But the fact that it goes in the guitar is a good one. I noticed that the ARTEC actually do a few other of these preampy boosty things. So the QDD is the one I've got here with the heavy metal rock distortion, blues overdrive, clean booster and a bypass. It's also got a QTB, which is a just a boost. So you can get 20 decibels, 14 decibels, 6 decibels, or 0 decibels of boost. The QTA, which low peak, mid peak, high peak, bright tone sound, and a bypass sounds like it's a sort of a fixed EQ boosty thing. It'll just these ones are in a QTP. A QTP is looks like it's passive. It doesn't have a battery on it, so that's basically a varitone switch. Tone for mid cut, mid high cut, very high cut. Yeah, so basically that's the QTP is. I have fitted one of them to something. My BC Rich Wave has one of them, and it's basically a varitone, which you can do just by using a 4-way rotary switch, but that's just kind of like in a on a wee PCB. Dead easy to fit. So it basically it just fits in with the QDD one. I've got it. It just replaces your middle tone. If it's a Strat, replaces your middle tone pot, and then you've got all in it. But like I've mentioned about 50 times so far, you would need to buy a 10k pot separately, and then wire it on, solder that onto the board, and then replace the two. So you'd have a volume, the rotary telling you which sound it was, and the gain level for the sound. If you were putting it in a Strat, so you need more knobs basically to get it to fit. But if you were running, you could probably run the active. You could run more than one thing off the battery. I'm kind of tempted in putting the other switch, the Gandalf Electronics one, the 6 decibel boost, into that my Yamaha that's got lights in it, because it's got lights in it, so it's already got a battery, not doing very much. So I might as well put a boost in it maybe. This would be great, but if you had a really nice amp that didn't have any sort of distortion in it, that'd be a great thing. If you had like a Roland Jazz Chorus or something that you were getting to use, or your uncle's blah 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 super clean Fender amp or something like this, it doesn't do very much distortion. This might be just what you need. It's probably cheaper just buying a pedal, and you don't have to actually bother installing it. Basically it is just a 4-stage overdrive pedal that fits in your guitar, and it's a nice one. Maybe the metal's a bit extreme. I'll try the one below it, the rock, what did I say, rock distortion. I like the metal one. And then there's my original sound. Yep, so I don't know what day this will be going up. I've been getting ahead of myself with videos this week. I might be doing my live stream tonight. I'll see if anyone turns on. I'll do a video tonight anyway, and if anyone's watching it by the time I've finished, I'll keep going. Tonight being Sunday. Yeah, so quite excited about this. I'm waiting for parts to come from eBay for this particular the overdrive active thing is going in. I think it's going to be quite exciting and quite funny. I think it might definitely go on my silly guitars playlist. Might even go a little bit viral because I've never seen anyone do this before. Seems a very obvious thing to do, but I don't think anyone's ever done it before. Rock on!